Good day, level cast learners. Today, we embark on a fascinating journey back in time, to an epoch that fundamentally reshaped Western civilization, the Renaissance. This isn't merely a historical period, it's a vibrant tapestry woven with threads of intellectual awakening, artistic brilliance, and profound societal transformation. A true rebirth that pulled Europe from the perceived shadows of the Middle Ages into an era of unprecedented innovation and humanistic exploration. Imagine a world where the pursuit of knowledge, beauty, and individual potential suddenly exploded with renewed vigor, where ancient wisdom was rediscovered and reinterpreted through a fresh lens, igniting a fervent desire for progress in every conceivable domain. We'll delve into the very essence of this period, understanding not just the what, but the why, the underlying currents that propelled such an extraordinary blossoming of human spirit. From its humble beginnings in the bustling city-states of Italy to its far-reaching impact across the continent, the Renaissance was a crucible where modern thought began to take shape, challenging long-held dogmas and laying the groundwork for scientific revolution, philosophical inquiry, and artistic mastery that continues to inspire awe centuries later. It was a time when the individual, rather than solely the divine, became a central subject of artistic and intellectual inquiry, fostering a new sense of human agency and capability. We will explore how this shift in perspective wasn't a sudden event, but rather a gradual evolution, propelled by a confluence of economic, social, and political factors that created fertile ground for this cultural revolution. Prepare to be captivated by the stories of the visionaries, the patrons, and the masterpieces that define this pivotal chapter in human history, offering us invaluable insights into the enduring power of human creativity and resilience. The genesis of the Renaissance is typically traced to 14th century Florence, a city-state that, despite its relatively small size, became an economic powerhouse, fueled by thriving trade, banking, and textile industries. This burgeoning prosperity wasn't merely about wealth accumulation. It fostered a dynamic environment where a new class of wealthy merchants and bankers emerged, eager to patronize the arts and sciences, viewing such endeavors not only as a display of their affluence but also as a means to achieve lasting glory and civic pride. This patronage was absolutely crucial, providing the financial bedrock upon which artistic and intellectual pursuits could flourish without the sole reliance on ecclesiastical or monarchical support. Concurrently, a renewed interest in classical antiquity began to take root. Scholars, often fleeing the collapsing Byzantine Empire, brought with them ancient Greek and Roman texts that had been largely lost to Western Europe for centuries. These rediscovered works, encompassing philosophy, literature, history, and science, offered a profound alternative to the prevailing scholastic thought of the Middle Ages. Humanism, an intellectual movement emphasizing human potential and achievement, rather than solely divine concerns, became the guiding philosophy of the era. Humanists championed the study of the humanities, grammar, rhetoric, history, poetry, and moral philosophy, believing that a well-rounded education based on classical models could cultivate virtuous citizens capable of active participation in civic life. This shift represented a significant departure from the medieval focus on theological doctrine, placing man at the center of the intellectual universe. Figures like Petrarch, often hailed as the father of humanism, meticulously sought out and copied ancient manuscripts, breathing new life into forgotten wisdom. This intellectual ferment was further amplified by technological innovations, most notably the invention of the printing press by Johannes Gutenberg in the mid-15th century. The printing press revolutionized the dissemination of knowledge, making books far more accessible and affordable, thus democratizing learning and accelerating the spread of Renaissance ideas across Europe at an unprecedented pace. No longer were precious texts confined to monastic libraries. They could now reach a broader readership, sparking intellectual curiosity and debate among an ever-growing literate population. This confluence of economic prosperity, classical revival, humanistic philosophy, and technological advancement created an unparalleled fertile ground for the cultural explosion that was to follow. The zenith of the Renaissance, often termed the High Renaissance, unfolded primarily in the late 15th and early 16th centuries, marking an unparalleled flourishing of artistic genius. This period saw the emergence of titans whose names have become synonymous with human creativity and skill, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Raphael. Leonardo, a true polymath, embodied the Renaissance ideal of the universal man, an artist, scientist, inventor, and philosopher whose notebooks are filled with anatomical studies, engineering designs, and philosophical musings, alongside his iconic masterpieces like the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, which pushed the boundaries of perspective and emotional depth in painting. His insatiable curiosity and empirical approach to understanding the world were revolutionary. Michelangelo, a sculptor, painter, architect, and poet, left an indelible mark with works of breathtaking power and grandeur. His David, a colossal marble statue, perfectly encapsulates the humanistic celebration of the idealized human form, while the Sistine Chapel ceiling, a monumental fresco cycle, showcases his unparalleled mastery of composition, anatomy, and narrative storytelling, depicting biblical scenes with dramatic intensity and profound theological insight. Raphael, known for his harmonious and graceful paintings, brought a serene beauty and classical balance to his work, particularly in his Madonnas and the monumental frescoes in the Vatican's Stands della Signatura, such as the School of Athens, which brilliantly synthesizes classical philosophy and Renaissance humanism by gathering ancient Greek philosophers and contemporary artists in a single, majestic composition. Beyond Italy, the Renaissance spread its influence, albeit with regional variations. In the Low Countries, artists like Jan van Eyck pioneered oil painting techniques, achieving unprecedented realism and intricate detail, while in Germany, Albrecht Dürer masterfully combined Italian Renaissance principles with Northern European artistic traditions, excelling in printmaking and painting. England experienced its own Renaissance, particularly in literature, with figures like William Shakespeare whose plays explored the depths of human experience with unparalleled linguistic brilliance and psychological insight. This period was not just about individual brilliance, it was a collective surge of innovation across disciplines, where art, science, and philosophy were intricately intertwined, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and expression to their absolute limits, leaving behind a legacy that continues to define Western artistic and intellectual heritage. The impact of the Renaissance reverberated far beyond its immediate geographical and chronological boundaries, fundamentally altering the trajectory of Western civilization. Its emphasis on humanism laid the groundwork for the Enlightenment, fostering critical thinking, individual liberty, and the scientific method. The rediscovery of classical texts sparked new inquiries into astronomy, anatomy, and physics, directly challenging medieval scholasticism and paving the way for figures like Copernicus, Galileo, and Newton, who would revolutionize our understanding of the universe. The artistic innovations, particularly in perspective, anatomy, and chiaroscuro, became foundational principles for subsequent art movements, influencing generations of artists and sculptors. The Renaissance also played a crucial role in the development of modern nation-states, as powerful monarchs began to consolidate their authority, often patronizing Renaissance artists and thinkers to bolster their prestige and legitimacy. The intellectual and artistic freedom championed during this era fostered a spirit of inquiry and exploration that extended to geographical discoveries, propelling voyages that reshaped global maps and interconnected continents. Moreover, the invention of the printing press, a direct outcome of Renaissance ingenuity, democratized knowledge on an unprecedented scale, fueling literacy and the spread of new ideas, including those that would eventually challenge religious authority and spark the Reformation. In essence, the Renaissance served as a pivotal bridge between the medieval and modern worlds, a transformative period that instilled a belief in human potential, reason, and the pursuit of knowledge. It was a time when the world began to look inward at the human experience and outward at the vastness of the cosmos, forever changing how we perceive ourselves and our place within the universe. The legacy of the Renaissance is not just in its magnificent art or profound philosophy, but in the enduring spirit of curiosity, innovation, and human excellence that it ignited, a flame that continues to burn brightly in our contemporary world.
That was an incredible overview of the Renaissance.
Absolutely, such a pivotal period in history.
I was particularly struck by the role of Florence.
Yes, it was truly the cradle of this rebirth.
And the humanistic philosophy really changed everything.
It shifted focus from divine to human potential.
The printing press, too, must have been revolutionary.
It democratized knowledge like never before.
Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael, simply astounding talents.
Their masterpieces still inspire awe centuries later.
The Sistine Chapel ceiling is breathtaking.
A true testament to human artistic capability.
The Renaissance clearly laid groundwork for so much.
Indeed, it shaped the modern world profoundly.
From art to science, its influence is everywhere.
It was a true explosion of creativity.
I feel much more informed now.
Me too, a deeper appreciation for this era.
That was a great lesson.
I agree. Keep learning, Levelcasters.
Until next time, Levelcasters, keep exploring, keep learning.